button that makes us live.
All right. It says we're live.
It says we're live. Are we really live?
Yes, let's just check my little...
Let's verify that.
Let's just check my little stream. My little stream thing should tell me if we are live down below. Yes, it says we are.
Perfect.
All right, hopefully some people show up. Let's hope.
Oh, I'm sure they will. So, yeah.
Some people are definitely probably going to watch this later on. So, all right. Whoever who will end up being here or not here, hello, everybody. I haven't done a stream in forever. I haven't. And I have a very special individual here with me, and glad that I was even able to do this stream with her. Because time is never on my side. Never on anyone's side.
Cursed time.
Yes.
Stupid time zones. Why can't we all just be in the same one? Why doesn't it work that way?
And for those who don't know this lovely individual with me today, it is Shae from ShaeGeeksOut. She is a fellow manga tuber / booktuber, and we have just gotten to know each other probably within the last half year, I would say, because I started following you at the end of last year. I did.
That's when a lot of people started to follow me in the manga community. It's really funny because over the last year and a half, my channel has quadrupled in followers. It's really weird because I was this quiet little booktuber, had about 350 subscribers for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, I got a lot of momentum and got a lot right away because of the small YouTube army movement where we were all following each other. And then from there, all the manga tube stuff started to take off. And then it's tripled since then. It's crazy.
I know. I mean, I think I've been with you all the way since you got to year 1000, which, I know I've already congratulated you on, but, congratulations. That's a huge feat. So, and really I can't remember how I came across you. I honestly
There's a good chance a lot of people found me when I co-hosted the 24-hour Tezuka readathon with Laura and Jen, Laura at Manga Quarter. That's when a lot of people found me in the manga space. And then they all started sharing me around, and sometime in that 3-month time period between October-ish when we started promoting it and January, a lot of people found me, and then they've just been sharing me ever since.
Yeah, I found you when I was just getting back at the end of last year into reading novels and such. And it was just, came upon you randomly. I'm like, oh, I like this girl. I like her vibe. She has a very nice calmness about her in her videos. And I've just loved following you ever since. And I found a whole bunch of other awesome people. So it's been great for me getting back in the manga.
It's been a lot of fun.
And I mean, I won't even ask you how you got into manga and stuff, because I think I've definitely heard that a lot.
Yeah.
In any, I've
been asked that a lot, especially in the last 6 months.
So I know your husband Stephen got you into anime. You were introduced to Fairy Tail. If that's right.
Yeah, I finally just got curious enough about manga because I'd been watching anime long enough that I got curious, and I'm finally I'm going to try something that's familiar to see how I feel about the format. And that's how that happened. And then I've been down the rabbit hole ever since.
Yeah. But we're going to be talking about, in this live stream, a different kind of rabbit hole of sorts.
The best kind of rabbit hole for us adults.
You know what? That reminds me. I need to make sure I get my list up. I'm going to have to my anime list. I have to refer back because some of me Shoujo knowledge might be a bit rusty and such. But
oh goodness! Well, there's a lot of old stuff I haven't read. So
hello, and
believe me, I will be taking down notes and recommendations throughout this video. I'm sure.
Well, we've got some people showing up. We have Bizarre Individual. Hello, Bizarre.
Hi.
Hello, Uni, Reads and Play. And we have Letitia Bookworld. Hello. If anyone new, old. This is I was, you know what? This reminds me back when I first did my very first live stream ever. I still have it up on the channel. It was absolutely horrible. I was sitting there for an hour and a half and only speaking to one person. He was a fellow person I used to role play with. He like went by the name Sonic, and he was there with me the whole time. I know his real name, but he was so nice chill dude back then. And you know, it was, and after the live stream, like I felt like I wanted to cry because I'm like, this is horrible. Showed up. I thought I'm never doing live streams again. Of course, that's not the case now.
Because clearly you're here doing a live stream.
I know.
Oh goodness.
That's when you. Yes. So, well, I'll ask you how you got yourself into the shoujo rabbit hole. Then we'll talk about the smutty, rabbit hole.
Well, I think for me, the shoujo rabbit hole kind of came as a natural progression. Because as I had explored anime, I inadvertently found all the shoujo animes and really liked them. So I slowly started to gravitate towards those types of titles, and it just kind of was this natural progression. And yeah, I just kind of ended up there. I didn't even finish reading Fairy Tail. I only ever read the first 15 volumes. And then I'm just like, if I'm going to consume this story, I'm just going to watch the anime again. So learned my lesson, not going to really collect many shonen in the future just because I prefer their anime 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
The only exception to that is FMA, because I will have FMA on my shelves forever. But anyhow.
Fullmetal Alchemist, I have only seen the first series, the original.
Oh goodness, so you don't even know the whole story.
I haven't delved into Brotherhood yet. I have not read the manga. So I grew up on a different side of the anime spectrum. I did,
right.
Steering sort of away from all the popular series. I did.
Right.
So,
but I promise you, it's worth it. It's so good.
Oh yes.
Oh good.
But this in half the year is my goal to watch some popular series. Like I intend to start One Piece.
We've been watching One Piece, my husband and I. We're finally going down the One Piece trail. We're about 70 episodes in right now. And we're slowly working our way through it. It's a lot of episodes, so it's going to take us a long while.
Ali, when I did the podcast with him just this last Wednesday, he was saying, he's only getting through so much at the moment. And I know he'd be ecstatic for me to say, oh yeah, I'm starting it. But people are like, oh, I start with the anime and manga. I'm actually starting with the anime for another friend initially. I promised I would watch the first season and give my thoughts on it. Yeah. I'm not even going to do arc by arc because I ain't got that time.
Right, exactly. Like for me, the first real arc ends at like the end of the first season. Like that's how I feel about it.
Okay.
Like there's little mini arcs in between, but they're all this overarching story to get to a certain place.
Yeah.
So that whole first season is really them getting to the Grand Line, which is like the major plot of the story.
Yes.
So that I call that one arc. There are people out there who are bringing it down into the little mini episodic kind of arcs, and I'm just like, that's so much.
It is.
You're gonna make so many videos. That's crazy. But kudos to them. Like, I just could never do it. I don't have the patience.
No, I don't blame anyone else that wouldn't want to watch, One Piece and such,
But yeah, so I'm finally coming back to shoujo, actually. I'm actually finally reading some classics. I'm finally reading Sailor Moon and some things like that I missed in my growing up years. So I'm kind of hitting a lot of those classics now, and it's been an interesting road so far.
Yes, I saw that you bought the collector's edition. You don't waste any time, girl. I'm just like, she'll have this in her hand the next day.
No, exactly. So I have the other 3 ordered, and then it's going to take forever to get the other ones. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go to one of the bigger libraries around me and just like sit there and read them if they have them. And vlog it that way so that I could still get the whole series read before they're all released. So I'm not like sitting on the series and losing interest in it. over time, because that just kind of naturally happens with like books, with manga. And the longer you sit on it and the longer you are in between volumes, the harder it is to stay motivated and enjoying reading it. Until you pick it up again and then you're like, oh yeah, I loved this.
Yeah. I was at the library the other day and I came across the Eternal edition, the volume 1. I'd never seen them up close.
Oh
so
my god, aren't they stunning?
Yeah, they are. I had a little flip through and I just thought, oh, I'll take a picture and I'll do a little post about it, And yeah, they're beautiful. And I was standing there thinking, now, what do we do? Because I have the single volumes of Sailor Moon up to volume 7 currently. And I thought, do I ditch those single volumes or do I pursue the collector's editions? It was kind of hard, but I thought I'm going to stick with the singles.
Honestly, just because of like their weight and their durability, they're going to last a lot longer than your singles. So that's my thought on it.
I've never read.
That's what ultimately led me to doing that instead of collecting the single volumes.
Terrible, my volume
binge 7s completely.
Yeah, my volume 7s have been sitting on my shelf for good number of years now, and I have read through all of them, but I've never read the full Sailor Moon series yet. I haven't. I think I blame my 6-year hiatus from manga. I read stuff in between then, but I don't remember what I even read. So, I'm kind of like out of the loop still on some things.
Well, so there you go.
Yeah. So I'm tossing up about the whole I'll say to people, if I say to people, hey, do I get singles or the collector's editions? I know they're going to say the collector's editions. So yeah, I'm tossing up about space as well. Space is always a thing to consider, always.
The other thing is they're tall. Yeah. And so, like, they're oversized almost, so you almost need a separate shelf for them.
Yeah.
Or, like, a different place to store them.
But I really love the covers on the original Sailor Moon Kodansha single volumes. I think they're pretty. I love the Sailor Jupiter one, of course,
Of course, because that's your girl.
Yeah, it is my girl. She's my jam. And my friends, have been asked before, do you just consider yourself her? I'm like, no, there's a lot of aspects of her that I am not.
Right.
she's just a role model I looked up to when I was younger, and I was brainwashed ever since. But yeah, I love the single volumes, and I'm just thinking I'm not far away from completing it. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna get the single volumes because
so at the end of the second Eternal edition, I believe I've completed the whole first arc of the story.
With Queen Beryl.
Yes.
So
all of that has concluded, and
you want to give us
memories have been given.
Oh, do you want to give us a sneak peek on just what you thought of your first impression of Sailor Moon?
My first impression of Sailor Moon is Usagi's personality has not aged well. Like, for me, that late 80s, early 90s Valley Girl is who she comes across to, like, to me. And that personality is so, like, outdated. Like, it's bad to me. So I'm trying to, like, chalk that up to it's been, like, 30 years since this has been written. And I don't think Tuxedo Mask is a good boyfriend. There's my 2 cents. I might change my mind. I might change my mind.
Now, technically, they're older.
This is very early on. So I might change my mind.
Yeah. So things do really evolve. I know I haven't read the whole manga, but the anime really can speak for itself. I've seen up to, I just haven't seen Sailor Stars. That's only because it's only just come out on DVD or Blu-ray for the very first time ever.
Right.
Which no one ever thought would get a English distribution. But yeah, I know. Well, yeah, Mamoru. I know some people think, I thought that at first. Like I say,
right now, that's how I feel about him. There is plenty of opportunity for my opinion to be swayed and changed and make me a Mamoru fan. But right now, like, there's so much.
I know.
And it's hard to decompress, like, here.
Something
without being able to, like, censor myself.
Yeah, there's something that people can get past, which is the slight little age gap between the two. Because,
honestly, I think the age gap bothers a lot of people because she's 14 at the start of the series. And that is a bit young. I mean, it's this whole fated to be together trope. Like, that's not a spoiler. Everybody knows it pretty early on.
She don't look 14.
She didn't look 14. I'll give them that. She didn't.
And Mama was supposed to be, I always thought back then, like 18, 19. Oh, yeah, he wasn't any older than 19. Definitely not in his 20s, but but yeah, they have history. That's all I'll say. So,
and me, I don't have problems with age gaps like other people, so that didn't necessarily bother me because, you know, they're not, you know, doing adult inappropriate things at this point.
No.
I'm okay.
And I've just had Devin in the chat quote, "Oh, she's in middle school and he's in college." Yes, I know. Yes, but to me, when I was younger, Usagi looked, 16 to me, and Darian, Mamoru, sorry, he looked 19. Well, yeah, he was in college, so but
I think in the Eternal Editions it says he's 17. I gotta look now, but it's like in the other room, so I will put on Twitter later because I can't remember.
Yeah, and I think Uni's just said in the chat, did Sailor Moon start in the 80s? No, it was actually just the 90s. It was around 1991 when Sailor Moon, really the manga first came out.
Right, but that late 80s, early 90s mentality was all still there.
Yeah.
Because really it was technically probably written in the 80s because it takes 2 to 3 years to get anything published. So.
Yeah. I mean, even I remember still when the Sailor Moon single volumes were coming out. I remember, God. And then Kodansha redid them. Not these collector's editions, the ones that there's just the ordinary single ones. And I thought, oh, they're so pretty. I thought they're never going to do another one. And oh no, what do they do?
And then they
throw out
editions.
Yeah. Which I want them to do.
It's funny because some publishers will continue to reprint really popular series over and over and over again when a series that's like a cult classic, they won't reprint. Like something like Red River with Viz. Like they only did the original run and they've never reprinted it. And that was one that honestly came out probably around the same time, or at least was written at around the same time. And I like it better. Don't at me, but I do. It's about this Japanese girl who's transported back to like the Egyptian Hittite time period of like King Tut. And
hang on, are we talking Red River?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. You didn't say the series, and I'm thinking, wait, this is Red River.
Yeah.
So, but
Red River is amazing. Like, I really would love to see it in print again. I think they would sell really well.
I know. I just saw your Instagram story this morning. I'm like, oh, this media, can we get a reprint of Red River, please? So
right, because I might as well be polite. And it's funny because when they do polls and stuff, a bunch of votes for Red River come out, and they always comment, all the Red River people are coming out of deep Twitter. It's like, no, we're right here. We want it. Give it to us.
I know, we will promo the crap out of you.
Exactly, because I've read the first 9 volumes of that one now. Yeah, the first 9, and I'm really liking it.
Yeah, because isn't it? Let's see. Isn't it 20 something volumes, or is it past that? I can't remember how many volumes.
I think it might be past that. I don't remember. It's a longer one.
23, 26, if it's something around that number.
I want to say it's like upper 20s. So I want to say like 25 or more.
Somebody was selling on eBay. I came across. They were selling the whole set. I believe it was 30 volumes, if I remember, something around that. They're selling it for $650 Aussie dollars.
That actually doesn't surprise me. That's not that. I think that's on the lower end even for Red River.
Yeah, I mean, there's some...
Which is why I'm just collecting it digitally. I'm not going to... I'm one of those people that when it's out of print, it's out of print. But if I can get it digitally, I'll still collect it that way. Because it's better than spending a fortune on something that I may eventually unhaul off my shelves because I don't have space. That's how I feel about it.
You know, there are some... Uni asks, is Red River available on the Viz Media app?
I don't think it's available like with the Shonen Jump app because that's only Shonen series.
No, it's not. It is all Shonen. There's the odd like one that's not really Shonen related. Some titles, but yeah.
But usually they're like seinen, so they're just more mature rather than like they don't really put any of their romance type titles on that because I think they're afraid that it won't do well. When I know if they did, there would be a surge of other people.
I know
signing up for the app.
We need a Shoujo app.
I know. Like, why don't we have a Shoujo Beat app? There's a Shonen Jump. Why don't we have a Shoujo Beat? Everybody, where they could put all their Shoujo Beat titles there.
Everybody, go hassle Shoujo Beat right now. Go tweet them out. But I think Uni actually had a question for us as well, and and Uni's funny. She just said she saw the same eBay post that I did. That's funny. I didn't realize. I think it was on ebay.com anyway. Now, what was your question? I'm scroll through. Oh, here we go. What was your first shoujo that you saw or read? That's funny. I was going to ask you this.
The first one I read was Let's Dance a Waltz.
Oh,
it's a cute little 3-volume series about ballroom dancing, and it is beyond adorably cute.
Like,
it was so cute.
I've only read the first volume, and it was just this week.
It's looking at
my shelf. I know. I was looking at my shelf this week, and I'm like, you know what? Need to order the next 2 volumes, my next manga buy, because I haven't bought any manga.
Yes, you do, because it's adorable. I've actually been itching to reread it, so there's a good chance I'll reread it here soon. The first one I watched, oh shoot, what was it? I think it was Fruits Basket or Maid Sama that I watched first. I know it wasn't Oran because I was afraid of Oran in the beginning. Oran's one of my favorites, so.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that they're bringing Bisco Hattori to Anime Expo.
I know, I'm so sad I can't go.
My friend who I regularly talk to from America, he's going with his wife and kid, and I said, oh, if you can get to meet her, oh my God, I'll love you. And I love
I would love to have the special edition volume 1 that they have. The cover is so cute.
I was just about to mention that as well. I think that's really nice. I was like, why don't you just redo all of them with all the
nice because the covers are so retro. It's bad. But I love my box set. I love my box set.
Next to Blackbird box set was one I wanted to always own. Yes, we'll get to talking about that in a second.
Those are the only 2 box sets I own right now are Oran and Blackbird.
Oran, I haven't read the manga. I've only watched the anime. So
so here's my plug for Oran manga. The latter half of the story is actually really deep and interesting. Like, it's a shame that it wasn't written when they made the anime because how all of that wraps up is amazing.
Yeah, I really wanted more from Oran, definitely. I knew that I would only be able to get that from the manga. So the problem was when I first got into anime, like my anime love really only took off when I came to Australia. It was kind of dead in the UK. And I was exposed to a lot of different things I hadn't been exposed to before. And primarily when I met my old best friend at the time, she just exposed me just to a lot of anime. Manga came later on. It did. So it never crossed my mind to actually want to go read the Oran manga back then because I was just so invested in consuming so much anime. Obviously, things are just different now, obviously.
But, I found the Oran box set for $62 on Amazon.
Oh, good job.
Or like $63. It was like a steal. I'm like, I have to do this because 18 volumes for a little over $60. Yes, please.
Yeah, you did really well.
And my Blackbird one, I got under 100, so that was still really good too.
Well, I think with Aussie currency, it's definitely going to be more than that for us. I ordered it off Book Depository. I told my story in a video end of last year. I got sent the wrong item, which is currently sitting under this study thing still here. I don't know what to do with it.
Oh, what did you get sent?
Is it here? No, I think it's been put somewhere else. It was a bunch of cartoon illustrations from a well-known cartoonist. Can't remember his name. I thought it was a 3-piece edition set that had never come out before.
Okay.
Wow, this is really random. So I did contact Book Depository and they did refund me. And then I just decided around that time I just will order it from Amazon. It was probably about 126. On other sites it went going for 150.
So you still got it for a deal. That's what matters.
Yeah. And I actually, funny, when I put my video together, my unboxing video, I put my reaction to me opening the box and there's the wrong item. And it's pretty funny.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
I show my family and they're like, put that in your video. They're like, put that in the video. And
oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll get to the Blackbird in a minute.
Yes, it's true.
I know we'll get onto the smut things in a minute. Okay, guys, there's a lot to get to because this is my first conversation with Shae. There's so much to cover.
We probably should have started like an hour before the stream just so we could like.
It's okay. It's okay.
Some of it out. It's all good though.
Let's see. My first. I can never forget my first shoujo manga, which was one you and Bizarre Individual are currently reading, which was like, yes.
Oh, Care First Love?
Yes.
Oh, I finished that. It was so cute. That's so dramatic. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I wanted to like really harm family members of these two. It was bad.
I've always recommended that to new manga people, especially if they want shoujo. Like, I know it's very I wouldn't recommend it to someone who doesn't like a lot of melodramatic stuff.
It's true.
It's still a good introduction because I feel also I wrote a post about it on my blog.
It covers a lot of the tropes of shoujo, but it does them really, really well. Having read quite a bit now, I can really appreciate what the mangaka did with the tropes that were in there.
Like, I would, I like the coverage like for new female. I think it's good for young female readers around the age bracket of for maybe 15 to 17 or 19.
I would say that because it puts a lot of emphasis on like pressure to be physically intimate with your boyfriend.
Yes.
And that was addressed so well. Like,
that's what I love about it.
When I was reading all of that.
I resonated with it because it reminded me of that, how I felt like around that time. And it just covers it well from Karen. Well, her name is pronounced Karen in the manga. I kept saying Kari all these years, Karen. I felt it represented well through her character. So I think that's something female readers are going to connect with quite easily.
I think so too. And, I grew up in Utah where I live now, and it's a very conservative climate with a very dominant conservative religion where that's not what teenagers do or are supposed to do. Like, you're not even really supposed to be one-on-one dating like one person until you're like 17, 18, a little older, a little more mature, where you can more easily handle all of that emotional pressure that's put on you. And so it was really interesting for me to read this as an adult because I think I wouldn't have related to it as much as a teenager because of where I grew up. Because I would have just been like, oh, they're making stupid decisions. I don't want to read this anymore. But as an adult, if my daughter were to read that, I would be okay, as funny as that sounds, because it shows that they were together over a year before they go that far. Like, they were together a long time. Even though there was that pressure, she's still like, I'm not ready. I can't do this. And they almost do several times in that time frame. So I really appreciated that the author went on that journey with our female protagonist.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And let her come to that on her own, because that's such a big part of yourself that you're giving somebody, especially that first time.
she's quite an unknown mangaka. She doesn't have that many known like, other works, but for it to still be accessible even now, you can definitely get you can get all the volumes off Book Depository. There's 10 volumes. I'm currently like collecting all the volumes as we speak at the moment, so I'm glad I was, even after all these years, I read it 10 years ago. So, you know, it's great that it's accessible, and I like the artwork in it. I think the artwork is
the artwork was really well done. Yeah. I quite liked that.
So it's a good like teenager read for female teenagers. I think it's
agreed.
Good. So yes, that was I think Uni just asked first manga, but I'll go along with Shae and say first anime. I actually have, well, it's kind of a mixed bag, really. So in the UK, one of my very first was Sailor Moon, of course. But then next,
I think that's pretty common for like our generation. That Sailor Moon was like the epitome.
I grew up with Dragon Ball Z. Beyblade was a huge
I guess
part of my
technically
life.
my first anime was Pokemon, if you count Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because my younger brother watched it, so I would watch it with him and not tell anybody that I actually liked it. Because I was too old for it at that point.
I
was too old for cartoons because I was like 12.
I know, like, I referred to it as just, cartoons on the TV, until later you find out it's anime. And when I came here, my really very first series that wasn't the classics was Angelic Layer.
You go. I've been meaning to watch the anime of it so I can actually do that review because I read it and I really enjoyed it. And I was surprised to find out it was a shonen, not a shoujo.
I know, like, it was just...
But it's like a tournament arc. That's all it is. So it makes sense that it was demographic that way.
Yeah, I think either way, if you read it, you watch it, it both is very enjoyable. I love the dub for it. I think some people might get annoyed over Masaki's voice, but it's portrayed well for her
at that time. Like, yeah, I'm sure it was
she's in really young grade middle schooler, so it's just such a cute series, and it actually has quite how the anime draws out. There's a sad part with Masaki.
Oh, yeah.
I think the anime draws out that really well. It makes me cry every time.
Oh, I'm sure.
every time. So, yeah.
Because I cried when I was reading it. So I could imagine watching it, I would cry. For sure.
But, yeah, add that to your list, Angelic Layer.
Yes. It's on the list. The list is like forever long.
Yeah.
That's one thing about coming into it like later in life. I missed out on so much that I have to like backtrack. Yeah. But I want to like rewatch all my favorites like Ouran and Maid-sama. Like I've watched both of those like 5 times.
I need to rewatch Maid-sama. I own Maid-sama. I think I bought it off. I bought it off Simply G. God, that was ages ago. That was, and I need to read.
Yeah.
I do want to read the manga now. And somebody bizarre individual mentioned Peach Girl. I saw the anime. Yeah. Didn't read the manga. That Peach Girl actually is not a series I would recommend to somebody like, as we were talking about Karen's First Love. I wouldn't recommend it to a young female reader because, it's very melodramatic and it's just full of drama and, lies and all that. But but it's still a good, good thrilling read. I love the series, but it's not someone I would recommend around the ages of like, 15 to 18. Unless the reader likes that sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's melodramaticness. I think it might.
That happens a lot in the female demographics of manga. Is that they are definitely overly dramatic, which isn't necessarily bad. It's fun and entertaining at times, but if that's all everything is that you're consuming, I could see it being a turn off and a put off.
Whereas we have like where I think if you have a balance of equalness, then it works out. Because like say if you're reading Peach Girl, then you go to like a title like Honey So Sweet, which isn't full of all that.
Oh my gosh, Honey So Sweet. It is like gives you cavities sweet. It is just too pure for this world.
I know how much you love it.
And I love it with my whole heart and soul. I do.
I mean, I had to make a
something
video
like
on
that,
it.
or even like My Love Story. Even though a lot of guys really like it, it is still really, really sweet.
Yeah.
And
Like
I
I
just,
put Honey So
it's
Sweet.
so cute.
Like I haven't read the manga of My Love Story yet, but you know what? Even watching the anime, I'd put Honey
Oh
So
my
Sweet and
gosh.
that on the same level. On the same
Yeah,
level.
I would too.
So,
but I there's something about Taiga, like just his little like delinquent look to him just makes me love him all the more. I think that's really what it is, because it's like he looks like a bad boy, like we all want, but he is pure as like the driven snow. Like he's too perfect.
I know.
But I'm a Taiga fan. Like if I had met a Taiga in high school,
he
would have been my forever love. Like that's just how it goes.
I would be a Tiger fan as well. Like, you know,
Yes,
I'm reading this. I read the first. Yeah. Oh. I read like the first, you know, volume, and I'm just like, damn, this is like the most sugary overload I think I've ever experienced in a romance story in general. I'm just like,
it's true.
Oh
it's really true. That one
I was like,
extra,
this is something
sweet.
like I definitely, you know, want to own this. Definitely.
Agreed.
And someone's commented about Peach Girl again, so it's more of a josei.
It
really
might be classified as a josei now. I don't think it was initially, but I don't know.
I would put it as definitely in I would put it. I've always put it in the more mature bracket for like high school reads. You know, like say we have titles like Kimi no Todaki, which is very, very innocent.
Again, another very innocent, sweet one.
Yeah. I'd say, you know, Peach Girl is more mature because of, you know, it's because of the drama levels, you know, it deals with, you know, there's cheating and the lies.
There's also Peach Heaven, which I still have a hard time believing is shoujo sometimes, but it's shoujo. I verified this multiple times.
I would put above Peach Girl, I would put Nana above Peach Girl within mature, if we're talking real matureness, which
like I was surprised when I found out Nana was a shoujo and not a josei. Like I thought it was a josei for the longest time.
I mean, you know, you know, with like demographics, like I feel like it's hard to put
the whole demographic discussion is just weird.
Like I think it's hard to put titles in. Oh, is this shoujo? Is this josei? You know, when I recommend people things, I'm like, are you wanting something more mature? Are you wanting something a bit more?
Do you want the smutties or do you not want the smutties?
Yeah,
that's kind of where we're at.
That's how we talk. That's how me and Shae talk. I don't talk like, oh, so do you want a josei? Do you want a shoujo? Like, we don't do that. We don't do that talk. Like,
we're not so highbrow. We're just like, do you want the smut or do you not want the smut?
Nana is considered a shoujo, but I would put Nana is, if Bizarre is asking, and I'll put it as definitely in the more mature bracket. The anime just completely blows you away. Like, it goes deep, man. Like, it killed me. It killed me. Like, I've been staring up at my shelf this morning. I was looking at it, and I'm like, God, I've got to bring myself the day I can actually get through it. So, and somebody also, Devin brought up a show. Definitely, I agree. A shoujo I actually want to start watching, Nijiro Days, which is actually called Rainbow Days. It's an anime. It's on Funimation, and it's about these 4 boys, but it centers on this blondie dude who has a crush on a girl, and him. You know, these other 3 boys rally behind him, give him the support. It sounds so adorable. It does.
It sounds like waiting for spring, and that makes my heart so happy.
Oh, I've only read the first volume of that one. That was really? I know. Yeah, it was enough to convince me to like continue.
Finished at like 13 volumes is when it's ending.
Yeah.
10 are currently released in English. Volume 11 comes out next month, and I'm like dying inside right now.
When does it end? How many volumes does
13, I believe, is what
okay. Damn, I was just thinking, you know, the volume 1 did a great job introducing the boys and the girl. I like the girl. I can't remember her name because I read it like 4 months ago. So. But that is a title.
The only name that's coming to my head right now is Naho from Orange. So, but it's not.
No. So, I mean, that's on my list to collect, but I've got to get through the one that I've got.
Yeah, it's so good.
Ongoing. So
that is like one that is compulsorily bingeable. Like when volume 11 comes out, I will most likely reread all of them, so it's all fresh again. And I'll do that until it's complete. I will just reread each time it comes out. So expect a lot of waiting for spring next month.
I was like, I was listening to, what is it, Alonzi and Page and Panels' podcast the other night.
Oh, yeah.
To and from work. That was a good podcast episode. And I'm only new to, is her name Natalie? Is it Natalie?
Yeah.
I'm new to her channel. I love her. She's very adorable.
Oh, she's adorable. One of my favorite humans.
She mentioned about waiting for spring, and I was listening and her talking about she loves her Shoujo mix with sports, and I'm like,
and waiting for spring is the perfect blend of that.
It's good
because the sports panels, like you would think they were shonen.
Yeah,
they're so good.
She when I was listening to this, she gave me an idea for a video, so she don't know that I'm doing a video dedicated to her right now. So I'm currently working on that. If she watches this stream, she'll know.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things I'm working on right now. So that's something you guys can look forward to probably in July, because it's going to take me a while to get through it, but I'm excited. Okay. So hopefully she enjoys it.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
I promise this is going to require a lot of research.
Yeah. So, well, I'm kind of in the middle of a couple of videos like that too, because I'm documenting my Sailor Moon journey. Yeah. And then I'm working on another project that bridges books and manga in the same thing. So.
Oh, don't tell me about too many projects. I've got a lot of stuff going on. The leader.
Those are the only two that I'm willing to talk about right now. There are others going on, but those are the only two that I'll talk about.
We got to keep some of our surprises under the belt, I wasn't going to reveal about that Page and Panels video idea, but I thought, it's all right. All right. Well, I think
let's get to the smuts. It's time.
Some people are looking at their Ainas in the chat and they're like, where is the smut?
Okay, so what's your favorite smutty manga series?
Oh, God damn it. This is really hard. Oh, God. This is very hard.
Okay, so while you think about it, I'm going to talk a little bit about Blackbird and some things.
Yes.
So with Blackbird, I was told it was smut-tastic, so I went into it knowing that. And what ended up happening is it took them 8 volumes to do it the first time, and then it still took another 2 before it became a regular occurrence. I'm like, come on! Plot armor to keep you apart? I hate that. That is the one trope that I'm not okay with. If you're gonna go that far, just go that far pretty early on, unless it's yeah. Anyways, especially because the whole point is for them to they're supposed to get married and get pregnant. That's the whole point of the series. So yes. Anyway, plot armor. Plot armor keeping them apart was not fun.
You use called plot armor.
Oh yeah, it's so true because it's built into the plot to keep them apart. So it's actually a book term we use a lot. Because the plot is protecting your characters from going that far. Oh, it happens a lot in fantasy stories where or even in battle shonen where you have a way overpowered character so they can never die in battle. That's plot armor essentially. So it's same kind of an idea where it's built into the plot that they can't get hurt or they can't go that far or whatever.
Yeah, I remember my first time reading Blackbird. You had to borrow.
Oh, I'll definitely read it again. Don't worry about it. I will be rereading it. I have no regrets.
I said in my video when I got the box set, I'm going to do reread, which I completed that ages ago. And when I got the box set and I reread it all over again, it's just oh god damn it! Now I remember why this series frustrated the hell out of me.
Right? The first story arc, because it was so long, I felt like it was a little bit drug out. It could have easily gone a little quicker. But the last arc was fine for me. Like, it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, and
I pretty much called like the core things that were going to happen, but how they happened, I wasn't able to predict. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, I kind of knew, as you said, I knew where the ending was going to go, and I'd be like, would I really want someone like, Kyo in my life? Maybe like half and half, because, I watched your vlog, and, he is, people will misjudge him, I feel, in the beginning. He is possessive of Misao,
but he's not human.
Yeah, he's not human.
You can't expect him to follow human rules because he's not human. He may look human, but he's not. He's a demon.
And you call them vampires. That was funny when I was watching.
Right, because I originally thought it was vampires, but when I did the vlog, I'm like, I need to make a correction. I stand corrected here. So once, it was all... Once I actually had it in my hands, it was really easy to be like, okay, this is what's going on.
Latasha says, Latasha, she says, is Blackbird considered as slow burn angst? I would say the first 8 volumes are just for that one thing. What it's surrounded on, because, we're surrounded...
It's pretty angsty from the word go. On a scale of 1 to 10 on how much angst, I would say it starts at an 8 and ends at like a 5. So it's pretty angsty in the beginning, but the angst kind of tapers off once some things are settled. So it's not the angstiest thing I've ever read, but it's pretty angsty.
I just finished reading a novel that from ages ago.
I know, I saw
I was going to mention it. I just finished reading it. My first Paula Quinn, Scottish romance novel, with a little smut. And that fulfilled me with such anguish. And I was feeling...
Oh my gosh.
I was feeling...
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I was feeling the same vibes from Blackbird. Because, Kyo's like, no, I must not have you, Misao. And then we've got the main...
What is it with tsunderes named Kyo? Because that's totally... what Kyo from Fruits Basket is, and Kyo from Blackbird. So what is it with this tsundere named Kyo?
I love Shoujo? It. Would you rather if Kyo had been like his brother Shae, who's a piece of crap?
No. I still don't
like that. Like
stupid Shae. Gosh. Anyways, what is your favorite smutty manga? We still haven't gotten to that.
It's very hard.
It is very hard.
I would have to say in this instance, I always end
like amount of smut, art style, like you can choose different ones for different reasons. I'll allow that.
No, I can pick my really current favorite that's been my favorite for like the last 6 years, which is Midnight Secretary. I think that's a lot of people...
I know. I still need to read that one. It's high on my list to pick up though.
I always end up drawing back to that all the time. Yeah. I just, even though, I think you know what it's about. It's a vampire smut, and I think it's done really well. And I think that's why I thought
Blackbird was vampires, because I think in my head I got them swapped because you mentioned both of them to me, and so I think I just in my head I thought Blackbird had to do with vampires too, and I'm like, but why a bird? Like I was confused with myself, so.
Yeah, again, we have a protagonist who, doesn't think highly. We have a male protagonist who does not. His name is Kyo. In this.
What's up
I can't remember. Let me look. Hang on. Oh, let me look up my list, because I don't know. I don't think it is, but he.
I'm gonna laugh if it is.
He doesn't have the highest regard for humans. He doesn't.
Right.
Like, a lot of, vampires central, sometimes protagonists do. Mm-hmm. And Kyohei. Sorry, no, it's Kyohei. Nearly
But he probably gets called Kyo all the time as a nickname.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh gosh, what is this?
I think he does. And then,
oh gosh.
And then the main
it's a thing. That's so funny.
We've got 2 protagonist name with K. We have Kaya, but I like her because it's
Okay.
But she, they have a, I think Kaya, soften, the usual softens him up, and it's very much like Demon Love Spell, sort of the same thing, but
that's what I still need to read as well.
He's a succubus, and he thrives off, women's lust and passion. That's how he is able to survive, and the series I think does a fairly decent job of just separating his lust for women's passion and love and his growing love for the main girl, but she's just this defiant young shrine maiden who hates demons, but eventually falls under a spell, blah blah blah. That's just a good time. It's just a good time.
I think my favorite recent smutty that I've read is Love Massage.
Oh,
good lordy.
I was looking at that. You tweeted about it, and I'm like, oh no.
It's an erotic massage manga. Like the smut level is high on this sucker, and it's really beautifully drawn. I mean, you're already because it's massage, you're always dealing with whoever's being massaged being at least half naked. But man, it's so good. It's so good. If you like your smut, and then Aisha, Mama Loves Manga, she was reading another one today. Oh shoot, what was it? Let me look it up.
Oh yes, she is another fellow smutty soul sister in my book. She is.
Yes, but it's like a 3-volume smutty series. What's it called? Oh, My House Servant is Naughty and Cocky with Secrets.
Oh my god.
And from volume 1, this is intense. So you better believe I'm gonna track this down and I'm gonna read it.
It was a surprise to me that, I remember I was debating about making my video 5 smutty, manga that make my, soul happy. I was thinking, because back in the day, I wouldn't have not thought about making a video like that. I'm like,
no.
Talk about things like that. But I'm like, I don't know what came over me.
Now that there's a lot more josei out there that are heavy on the smut. I mean, Everyone's Getting Married is really heavy on the smut. Then you've got Love Massage. You've got all sorts of ones that are just woo, 5 alarms, spicy.
I think I've only read the first 5 volumes of Everyone's Getting Married, but that was enough to give me an indication of, oh yeah, this is my thing.
Oh yeah, from there, it was every chapter or every other chapter, they were doing it. They do it a lot. That's kind of how they fix all their problems. Rather than talking it through, they just do it. And everything's magically better after they do it again. And it's crazy, but it is super fun to read.
Yeah, we like it, there's always just this, even portion. I think honestly, I did the last smutty thing I read, which was just recently. It was 4 volumes. I think I was looking through Kodansha's list and came across one of the digital first. It was called Can I Kiss You Every Day?
I loved Can I Kiss You Every Day.
I was just this. I was the brother in it is so goddamn annoying.
Oh, he is annoying. No,
God. But then we just
couple dynamic. They were really cute.
The main and then the main male dude, he's oh god, predator. I was thinking definitely predator alert here. Some people are definitely going to be thrown off this series, not wanting to read that.
Yeah,
they ain't gonna want to read this.
When you first initially meet him, he definitely comes across that way. But over the series, I really grew to like him.
Yeah, I liked his, a little attacks.
Another shoujo that's kind of along those lines is Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight.
Oh,
because
yes.
The main guy with his whole panty shot fetish is a bit much, but thankfully that tapers off after the first couple volumes. But their connection together and stuff was still really, really good.
Oh, I love Kiss Me, Mr. Recommend. I'm a fan of that manga hugely. I need to read her other 2 works that she has currently coming out.
I do too. Mm-hmm.
I need to get on that. But other stuff awaits.
Don't we both?
Other stuff awaits us. But yeah, I love that. I was just like, damn, this is a flip side and how we fantasize about our celebrities and other things in our minds. And that, you know, her Prince Charming, our main boy, he's got a butt fetish. I consider him to have really a butt fetish. Not really a panty fetish, I would say he has. It's
Right.
about the butts. And I love how
But he sure likes his figurines with panty shots. Let's be real.
True. I loved how Rin does her comical facial expressions. Like some of the shots in there.
I completely agree. I think it's so well done.
It's so
it is
funny.
Incredibly beautifully drawn. Like I really love the art style on that one a lot.
Yeah. Have you let's see. Well, have we mentioned Happy Marriage? I know that's a classic one, but
I haven't read that one yet, but I know it's smut-tastic. I know. Again, it's high on my list. I'm trying to wrap up a couple of series right now so that I can pick up some of those.
Well, it's 10 volumes, girl. You know, you got a lot to get through. But I know that's a pretty well-known one. That was one of my very first, you know, like smutty type reads when I decided, hey, we're going to be open about this crap now.
Right, exactly. Because why hide it? There's no reason.
I just don't. I think I was, I know you were more conservative in the aspect of, you know, where you lived in that. I was more conservative on the side of, I was not, you know, every other individual is exposing a part of themselves that they're not comfortable with. So,
and still to this day, I'm not overly exposing my body out in public. That's a personal choice. It's just not something I'm personally comfortable with. I could be skinny as a rail and I still wouldn't, just because I wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where when it comes to me talking about smut, especially, like I get this question a lot because I am still very active in my religion and my religion is very conservative. So it's one of those things that I get asked all the time, like, are you okay reading smut? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm okay reading smut. I talk about it all the time. For some people, they feel like they can't draw that line between fiction and reality. And that's why they struggle like reading smut. But to me, I don't apply what's happening in the smut to my life. Like some people try to do that. And that's when it can be problematic and cause issues for people. And that's how some people end up feeling like smutty romance is like porn for girls.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where it's really easy for me to draw the line in the sand of this is not realistic. This is not what real sex will ever look like. I can just enjoy that it's somebody's fantasy and run with it. And that's how smutty manga is for me as well. Like I don't feel like it's necessarily pornographic in the way it's drawn most of the time. Ecchis and harems tend to like overdo it to a point where I'm not comfortable, which is why I don't typically.
I think an example we can give from your perspective is I remember watching one of your videos and I think it was the series something Wedding Rings.
Tales of Wedding Rings.
Yeah. Look, that like, you know, for me with ecchi and harem, like I don't really draw the line with it unless it far exceeds what, you know, if there's way too many boobs and butts. It depends. But, you know, like that title to me when you were talking about it fascinated me. I'm like, you know, that's one I want to read, and I love the manga cover of it. I thought it was really pretty.
Right. The art style's beautiful and the core story is great. I just hate that there's this plot reason for him to have all these girls who are clearly drawn over sexualized around him. And so I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. Peace out. I wish it were better.
Yeah,
but I think that kind of a trope, like the whole power in the ring, like their wedding rings, is supposed to strengthen him to protect this country, which is why they send him off to go get married to all these other people so he gets even stronger. But I would have rather had it that they developed their relationship deeper and deeper to strengthen him, rather than adding all of these other factors that cause things to not be as strong in a relationship. Like, it could have been done really well, but they chose to go the ecchi harem route, and that really bothered me because I really liked what the plot had in store.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that, you'd want to draw the line with, ecchi harem. So,
Yeah.
but, eventually it's a title I would, personally myself like to pick up.
I think everybody should at least try it and see how they feel about it. That was just my personal thoughts.
No, that's completely.
And some people can look past like the ecchi harem element of it and get to the core story. But to me, that part of it was distracting from what the core story was anymore. So
I know, and I don't always go for like stories that I don't like it when sometimes have really good story going and then there's just these overly sexualized characters and there's no solid story.
Right? Exactly.
One series that actually made me ended up thinking differently, it surprised me, which would get judged upon easily. I talked about in my recent podcast. I talked about a series called Witchblade, specifically the anime, whereas we have some very women overly sexualized character designs, and the plot doesn't sound like, oh, it's all that amazing because we surrounded on a woman who has this living organism she has to contend with called the Witchblade. It chooses female hosts and she can't control the power of it, and it just sounds like she goes around and there's just all these horny battles. And deeper in the plot, it's all about her wanting to have a better life for her and her daughter, and the anime is quite sad. And I
and that's kind of like Mike Otaku Mike, the one who recommended Tales of Weddings to me. He's like, Shayla, you need to try it again. I promise it's not as bad as you think it is. So it's one of those where I might try to like check it out from the library, or maybe try picking up a volume or two digitally, or like sit at the bookstore and read them and be that person to see if it gets better, like he says. So I haven't totally given up on the series. It's just one that right now, where there's so many other series that I'm super excited about reading, it's just on the back burner.
Well, maybe if I end up getting on it, I'll let you know how.
Yeah, do for sure.
Yeah, how I get on with it. So it's all right because me and you, I feel like we're in sync.
We're very similar in our taste. Like, let's just be real. It's all good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's that. Oh, let's see what's going on.
Well, I know you've got to wrap up pretty soon. So, are there any like final questions that we need to address, or things you wanted to ask or talk about or whatever? Because we're at the hour mark now, so I know we're like getting to.
That's all right, and I know you
wrap up time.
I know. Is there any titles smutty, titles that you would like to read at the moment that are on your list to read?
Well, Midnight Secretary and Happy Marriage are very high on the list. The one that Aisha talked about today is very high on the list. And I'm trying to think. My list is like all in my head. I would like to get back to Peach Mermaid eventually, because I think that's going to be a really fun road.
I had someone,
because I read the first volume and I laughed so hard reading that manga. It was not even funny.
I loved I thought it was pretty funny. When at the same time you're talking about it, I really liked that when somebody recommended me on Instagram that title. So that definitely sounds up my alley. Like I love the ocean. Well, I thought this sounds
good. It's about okay, so it's about this mermaid who like has gotten her human legs because she was attracted to this boy that she saw on the shore. So she gets human legs, and then she finds out that to keep her human legs, she has to like do it with this boy. And every time she's sexually aroused, her fin, like her tail comes back. And so they can't. And it is like the weirdest, funniest thing I have ever read. Like, it's hilarious. I was laughing so hard. She's a total pervert too.
Oh god.
Oh, another one with a pervy female protagonist is My Pink is Overflowing. That one is really fun. Really excited for volume 2 to come out.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
It's about a girl who has a kink for guys in white dress shirts. Like, you see her get nosebleeds looking at her boss in a white dress shirt. Like, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
I've got I think right now I've got a few titles, but I guess number one is A Kiss for Real by Fumi Akuta.
Okay, I've seen that one.
Yeah, so and I think there's definitely an old one that I want to check out is Mars by Fuyumi.
Yeah, Mars is on my list too.
Yeah, I liked that. I remember Mars when it was around back in my day, and I never got around to like checking it out. So it's nice that it's finally been available digital when it was announced. So
right, exactly.
good. And we have a question from Uni. She says, are there any smutty titles with limited nudity you'd recommend to start with? That is a hard one.
Most of the ones where it's shoujo, where they get smutty, it tends to be more like just side profile kind of stuff. Like, you're not seeing like exact body parts connecting, things like that. So, like, there's smutty scenes in Red River, and I think they're all like very tastefully done in a way. And I'm just trying to think of some of the ones that I was like, this is like tasteful smut, where it's not like just spread eagle, here's all my parts kind of things.
Yeah, I'll kind of stumped you because I think it is.
I'll have to think about it, Uni. I'll DM you.
Yeah, because that's pretty. That's a pretty. I've been asked this question previously, and it's kind of hard.
Because like the smut in Blackbird, I think is really tastefully drawn, where it's not like overly exposing parts. But I don't know, that maybe that's me. I'm a pretty smutty soul, so I don't know. My gauge on that might be different, but Uni, I think I can pick out some ones that you'd be comfortable with trying. So let me think on it.
Yeah, I'll definitely think on it as well because it's kind of hard to pick off the top of my head because I definitely, from getting to know you, Uni, I wouldn't want you to be like overloaded. Like I remember you checked out the title SP Baby by Maki and Joey and that's it's not really like hell smutty, but it's a good sort of angsty kind of story. It is. I mean, you'd enjoy it, definitely. I would definitely recommend you'd give it a try. It's just a 2-volume series. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's been on it. That was another one that was on my list. I'm like, the second you said that, I'm like, yep, that one's on my list.
But she's coming out with a new one in October, and I'm so excited for it. It's about doctors. It's a Doctor Smut.
Oh, she's the one doing the doctor one? Oh my god. I've seen that floating around, and I'm like, this sounds so good.
Because this is fun again.
We'll brainstorm and we'll come up with a couple for you to try out. And I'll flip through mine and verify which ones that are like low level body parts on the smut.
So I think like if we said, oh hey, Blackbird, I think you would just be like, whoa, okay, this is not a good first one for me. This isn't.
No, I mean, it's very often in Blackbird, and some of that is uncomfortable for someone.
In my video,
would be uncomfortable for someone who doesn't read it a lot.
I put Blackbird like on the high level in my video. I did for that. I mean, feel free to, if you haven't watched my video on 5 smutty manga that make my soul happy, I do put the levels of the 5 manga I do talk about. I don't know if that will help you, but you can give it a try. But I'm pretty sure the ones I recommended were like, yeah. I mean, I would even just say in this instance, happy marriage, because I've always said happy marriage, to be honest. I mean, because it is about, it is about a growing relationship, about, strangers forming, eventually their relationship into a wife and a husband, and there's like background plot that goes on. It's an office space type story as well, have love happening in the office and that. And and I would say the smut scenes in that I'd put it as quite tame, because I mean you do see like a pair of boobs, but that's like about it, really. Nothing over the top where we've got like intense scenes of sweat dropping and
no,
it doesn't have that. I would recommend giving maybe the first volume of Happy Marriage or the first two and see how you feel. Definitely. So
okay,
that would be my suggestion, but I'll
but yeah, don't read Love Massage. That stuff is intense from the word go.
No.
Unless you want intense. If you want intense,
I'll just do the whole.
The art in it is super tasteful, so I'll give it that. But like, it's very prominent from the very beginning.
If people,
they do it, I think, twice in the first volume.
If people were saying to us, "What is some heavy smutty that you want?" I'd be like, Midnight Secretary. Do the whole glasses, little swap, put the action in. But we do have a question. What are the apps do you use to read your manga?
I'm a Comixology girl.
I don't think that's available for Aussies, because I was having a conversation about this with G in your new Discord server, which, by the way, you should all go join. I will leave a link.
It's true. I started a Discord server today.
If you love anime, manga stuff, that is the place to go. Nice environment. Love it. Yeah, I was talking about that with her, and I said, is Comixology actually available for Aussies? And she said, oh, I've never had a problem using it. And I actually went back and looked on their website, and it still says like the Comixology Unlimited option is for the US only. Because
but like any of the digital ones that you purchase, you can still read.
I really got confused, and then I read up about it more, and I thought, oh, okay, right. Now I get it. So, but everyone recommends Amazon Prime. Get the Prime in your life.
Right.
So, I read mine. I use a different variation. Like I use Google Play. I use what is it called? Oh God, Kobo. I think it's called Kobo. It's got an additional name. Oh, Raccoon 10 Kobo.
Okay.
That's because there was Peach Heaven. We didn't mention Peach Heaven. Oh yeah, that was
I did talk about Peach Heaven briefly.
Yeah.
I did mention it.
I blame this woman right here. I spent a whole over $100 just to get all the digital volumes.
I found it all on sale, so I didn't spend over $100.
Aussie digital manga prices are sometimes a bit steep, but I waited
till it was half price before I bought the volumes.
I took the plunge because I had the funds, and I'm like, I wanted to buy a whole series, and I'm like, great, this is it.
Peach Heaven is a ride. It's about a girl who has to basically write erotica to support her family because her dad is dead or gone. I want to say dead. And then mom's in the hospital, so she is supporting her brother and paying her mom's hospital bills.
I loved her.
But like the smut that she writes in the series is good. Like legit is good.
I find it hilarious whenever she's in a situation. She's like, oh, I can use this idea for my story.
And then in her head, it like goes off to the scene, and it's hilarious. The Peach Heaven is one of like my favorite series I have read this entire year. Like it was so good.
I read the first 5 volumes years ago, and then finally revisiting it, reading all 13 volumes. It was a ride. I didn't think it would go the route of how it ended. I didn't even.
But I was okay with how it ended.
I know. I was like, I like this. Oh, the finish is great. So yeah, it was satisfying. But people might be put off maybe by the main protagonist. How do you say his name? I kept saying Ramaru in my video.
I said Ramaru.
Yeah, Ramaru
or Ramaru.
Ramaru. But there's an A on the end of his name.
It's like Mamoru from Sailor Moon with an R. So Ramaru.
But yeah, Ramaru is a playboy.
Just think about it that way.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, he's so a playboy in the beginning. It's crazy.
But
And
he was
the whole
amusing. He was
be
funny.
my servant
He was
trope.
he was good
but
funny.
Yeah, it was good
Sarcastic funny. I like that sort of kind of funny. I do. So
agree.
yeah, definitely Peach Heaven. Oh, and you do learn the name of why it's called Peach Heaven as well, which is
It's true.
So cute. I was touched.
Yeah, I loved that little tie-in. I've come to decide that when there's peach in the title, it means it's gonna be like dirty, naughty, smutty. So just beware of that. Because I read the first volume of Peach Mermaid and Peach Heaven in the same day. And I'm like, that's gotta be code word for pervy in Japan if it's peach. So
yeah, I think one of my favorite.
And I heard that Peach Girl is pretty smutty, so that's why I'm like, it's gotta be just whenever there's peach in the title, expect smut.
It's got some mature smut in there. I mean, the anime kind of did, but I know the manga's going to. I remember reading the first volume, God, years ago. Again, another one I need to go revisit. And I hear my friends read it, and she said, "Oh yeah, there's like some mature smut in there, so that's probably a good one too." So, but in terms of other apps, like I use the Shonen Jump app to read the Shonen stuff. But yeah, that's all I really use, like Google Play, and I do use Kindle. So
yeah, and Comixology works a lot like the Kindle app. It is an Amazon branch, so you could use Kindle and Comixology interchangeably.
But there's some titles that are available only on like Google Play, for example. Available on the Peach Heaven was only available on the Rakuten Kobo app. For
Interesting.
Me. Yeah. And for example, I'm collecting Rave Master right now digitally, and that's available, I thought, only on there, but then I went and looked on Amazon and it's available on there as well for cheaper. But that's okay.
Yeah.
The margin was like by $2, not that much. So,
but that's still a lot when you're collecting as many volumes as are in Rave Master.
I know,
there's like 30 plus on that one, isn't there?
I was tossing up between, do I want to go down the rabbit hole of trying to find these 35 volumes? I own the first one, but that's a very treasured possession. But I decided digital in the end. So yeah, I tossed it up, because
that's a lot of space too. Like when you're limited on space, you have to think about that when you're collecting as many as we do. I mean, I did a count yesterday. I have owned 530 volumes of manga, and I've only been collecting like a short amount of time.
Well, once you collect by the bulk, obviously it's going to accumulate pretty quickly. Like I'm very slow going. Like right now, my 2 long running series.
But I also don't have a library that has a lot of manga for me to check out. So I'm like buy or bust.
Yeah. I think that's where it's like different. Like my library I think when I went back to my library probably in the last year, like couldn't believe how much their catalog has advanced with all these newer titles, and half the ones I've read in the last 6 months, I didn't think they had it, and they had. So, that's something to be definitely, like grateful for. So
for sure.
Doesn't mean just because we have all this access to,
But the library for my town is really small. Yeah. But there's one in the town that I work in that's really big. So I'm tempted to go look there and peruse that. Because then I'll just borrow my mom's library card and go check out from there. Because my mom lives in that town. So
yeah, where I grew up, we lived in a really small village. There was just one library, one fish and chip shop, one of everything. Really small ass village. And when I got here, seeing the bigness of the library, how it was just, I remember that moment. I just could not believe how big it was, and we relied on it so much when we first moved here. And that's where it really came from, being really hooked on it. And my library's just done this massive revamp, and they have just organized all their shelves. The manga finally section has neat shelves. It's like freaking 8 rows. I'm like, where did all this additional manga appear from?
Right.
So I was stuck in there for like 2 hours the other day. I was like, what do I want to borrow? So yeah, use your library, folks. It is a reliable, indispensable.
Exactly. If you've got a library that has a decent manga catalog, like go for it. I wish mine did. That's why I said I'm going to go peruse another library and figure it out.
Because I think it avoids the ultimate. No, I think it avoids the ultimate disappointment of you buy a volume 1 of manga, you read this back of the synopsis, and then you read it.
It sounds good, but then you actually read it.
Like, I hear it so many times in people's videos, and I'm just like, like, go.
Yeah.
It's hard because you make that gamble and you do rely on like people's recommendation, but it's like, I can't do that anymore. I have to borrow it from my library. So, like, for example,
and that's why, like, anytime I'm doing a new series, I never buy more than volume 1 at a time. Like, if I really like volume 1, I'll pick up the next 2. If I'm borderline, I'll only pick up the next 1. Like, I've now decided I'm not going to collect Dr. Stone. I'm just going to use the Shonen Jump app to read it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where
I agree. I was in the same position as well. I only read the first 2 volumes of Dr. Stone, and I'm like, yeah, we just want to stick to the
I don't need that one on my shelf. I'm okay.
Yeah. Like, I read Astro Lost in
And if
Space
I'm like on the fence about it, but I think Steve will like it, then I'll have him read it. And if he doesn't like it, then I have no reason to not just go for a digital collect or just read it through the Shonen Jump app. Because it's usually only Shonen or Seinen that I end up doing that with. Most of my Shoujo, I'm pretty good at spotting what I like anymore. So.
Yeah, so. But I don't know if you guys, I don't think anybody has any more questions. I mean,
okay.
And also in terms of like smutness, I do plan to do another video. So
I've got a smutty manga video coming soon.
Oh, that sounds exciting. And Uni, we will definitely recommend you some stuff. We will.
Yes. I'll go back through, find my tamest ones, send them your way.
I actually have currently volume 1 I'm going to read today, Spell of Desire. So I will find out then.
Do tell. I've heard mixed things about that one, so tell me what you think.
Volume 1, I will, if I like it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it, but I want to be 100% sure. And then it's only a 5-volume series. So it's, I think this one's got demons in it, I'm sure. And it's by the same mangaka as Midnight Secretary. That's why I want it.
Oh, yeah. You're probably going to love it then.
Yeah. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap up everything here, guys. I hope we covered some on Shoujo and Smut. I mean, we did our best. I mean, this was our first conversation together, so of course we were going to go
and so Tangent Land definitely happened.
I like Tangent Lands. I'm all about
Me too.
Factor. We will have another one. We will have another Shoujo and Smut session, most definitely. This does not mean we're just this is gonna be the only one. So hopefully
there will be more in the future.
Hopefully I'll drag Miss Shae to my podcast and we will do a Shoujo Smut episode.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Anytime.
I'm sure I'll drag you over there, no problem. Just tempt you with some succubus and some demons and
it's funny. People talk about dragging me places and kidnapping me places. Like Alonzi said he kidnapped me for his podcast. I'm like, I'm here willingly. I was not kidnapped.
No, I didn't. No.
I just think it's funny that you're both using similar terms. It's hilarious.
All you have to say is, "Hey, you want to talk some smut?"
Exactly. Pretty much. I'm pretty open to smutty conversation anytime.
She's got her she's got her trigger words. Everybody's got a trigger word. Like if you say Brandon Sanderson, if you say smut. You can say
those are 2 big ones for me, right?
Yeah, everyone's got their trigger words. So maybe every streamer now will say, like, Loha Lee, you say Rave Master, or the author
or delinquent
of
manga.
Rave Master. If you say Beck, if you say 20th Century Boys, etc. So
yes,
but I really hope anyone who watches this, you enjoyed. Maybe you discovered something new. You enjoyed us fangirling. I certainly did.
I did too.
So, maybe I'll have a future, we'll definitely have a future show.
We'll have to do this at least quarterly or something, because I'm sure we'll read more smutty manga in between now and then.
And yes, I see Letitia says, can we join the Discord? Of course you can. I will leave.
Everybody, come join.
If you're on Twitter, Letitia, we can send you a link. Or
actually, I pinned the post where the link is on my profile. So if you follow me on Twitter or just look up ShaeGeeksOut, you can find the Discord server right there.
Yeah, and I will also leave a link to her Discord in the link for this stream as well. Only if Shae agrees, if that's okay with you. Okay.
Of course.
Right. No worries. I will leave a link there. All right. Well, all right. Hope you guys had fun. Thank you for being here, Miss Shae. It's an honor to talk with you finally.
Of course.
Yes.
We've been needing to do this for a while now.
Yes. Yes. Everything happens eventually in due course. So to all, have a good evening, have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the next video, stream, podcast, whatever. Bye. Stop it.